Rachel, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's
Hi,
good to have you
everyone.
here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. We brought Rachel because we're just not that funny. So this was a good opportunity for us to bring some comedic relief today. But Rachel, I want to start with a couple questions for you. You spent
This part's not going to be funny.
This part will be very funny.
Chatting.
This is just chatting?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Okay. But
No, we'll see.
we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
This could go either way. You spent 7 years on Saturday Night Live, and I think one of the interesting things about Saturday Night Live is every week you have to do a show, and there is no, time gap. And a lot of these folks in this audience, most of them work on projects, and we measure this in quarters and months, and some of us even years. But you go. You have 6 or 7 days to do it. So tell me what it's like on that compressed schedule where you're going to go, and it's 11,
Right.
11:30, and you got to go.
Well, so the whole process takes place in 1 week, and there's a different host every week, so you have to the actors write as well. So the biggest pressure to be on the show was the writing part of it and trying to come up with characters. And so, on Monday night, you just start. Monday and Tuesday night's the writing night. So everyone stays all night long and writes the sketches. And then Wednesday, they pick the sketches. And then Thursday, you rehearse. And then Friday, more rehearsing. And then you're up and running. So, we all work best under pressure, I think. Like, you could go in Monday and start writing. But nobody did that. Everybody shows up at, 4 o'clock on Tuesday to pull this all-nighter. I kind of think it was sort of necessary for us to get the comedy going. You need that pressure.
But you guys would do that for years. I mean, you were
Yeah.
on for a long, so that's a huge amount of energy that you spin up and bring down every week. So when you have that, you have this, tell me about stress. That's got to be a lot of stress.
Well, I think for comedy, stress is kind of good. I'm not sure for you guys, but for us, sometimes just that pressure makes you come up with more crazy stuff. I can't really explain it, but and then also you I would try to go through my day kind of looking for weird characters or strange things that happen and sort of stockpile them for later to bring on a writing night, yeah.
Got it. And, as well, Keith and I talked just a few moments ago about, innovation and giving yourself permission to fail. I'm interested, as a comedian, I'm sure you've had performances that haven't gone as you thought they would go, and what you thought was funny just didn't happen. How do you move beyond that?
Yeah, so, you might write a sketch and think it's gonna kill at the table, and then, it gets no laughs. Or you might write a sketch that you think is really great, and then it does get laughs, but the true test is at the table of if it gets laughs or not. And then, you definitely have sometimes, you knock it out of the park, and other times you don't, but you sort of have to not be so precious about hanging on to each character and just trying again the next week, sort of thing.
So
yeah.
I'm curious, what makes you laugh?
Ooh, on SNL, my fellow coworkers, they're all so funny, so everyone brought their own sort of individual voice. Like, maybe I couldn't do what Tina Fey does, or Will Ferrell, whatever, but you just bring what you think is funny to the table, and then you appreciate around you. Like, I learned so much from all the other cast members around me. Like, maybe someone's super physical, or maybe someone was super cerebral, and just learning what everyone else does kind of helps you create your own comedy as well.
Cool. And you and I were on the phone a couple weeks ago, and one of the other things I think is interesting is when we talk about our community here, we see a lot of people moving through transition, and we see them moving from, jobs more frequently, and the time that they're spending at their current job is compressing a little bit. And you've gone through this as well at Saturday Night Live. So I'm interested on what lessons you could provide to this group about what transition looks like.
I think in the acting business, you kind of have to adjust your brain that you're not going to have a steady gig for your whole life. Like, you're going to have a lot of different little jobs. And so it kind of took some, I was a good student and went to college and all that stuff. And then the acting world, you're kind of at the mercy of casting directors and auditions and all that. So I think, you could have a successful job like SNL, and then that's over. And then you go back to being a regular actor auditioning. So I just had to adjust my brain to trust that something would come along. And one other thing, aside from just luck, sometimes when jobs weren't coming, instead of just waiting for the phone to ring, that's when I would be like, I guess I'm gonna have to write something myself instead of waiting for someone to call me. So those are the times when I created something through writing, just to kind of get myself a job.
Right, absolutely.
Instead of waiting, yeah.
And I think your point about just trust that the process will work is incredibly important, because when I talk to folks in our community and they tell me about job transition and those types of things, these things always work. You just have to trust that it's going to work for you. And that's a really important point.
Yeah.
So, we have a couple guys here today. Bert and John Jacobs are here from the Life is Good, organization.
Yes, I heard, yes.
So tell me, what makes your life good right now?
Oh, wow. That's like a deep Miss America question. What makes my life good? Okay, well, off of the acting thing, I have a child now, and he's only 6. Yeah, I kind of had like a late in life child. And so, he's like my main thing now. So it kind of put everything in perspective. Like, I still like doing comedy, and I still on TV and all that stuff, but I'm not so much like, I've got to be, this big movie star or whatever, because I'm just having fun with him. He's only 6, so I'm having...
That's awesome.
That's what makes me
That's
life
awesome.
good.